90% of solar pros who generate leads online end up burning thousands of dollars. And the only thing they have to show is a ton of unqualified leads, few appointments, and little to no sales. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I generate solar leads online that actually convert. I'm going to give you the secrets and common mistakes which keep most people trapped in a cycle of hiring a lead company, getting scammed, trying to find another one who will actually give them results. Inevitably, they will just waste their time and their money. If you're new around here, my name is Andreas, and for the past 4 years, I've been the CEO of Python Marketing, where we specialize in helping solar pros just like yourself to step away from the daily grind of client acquisition. We have invested hundreds of thousands of dollars online and generated leads in 3 different countries, so you know the information you're about to get is the best of the best. So let's get right into it. Most people, when they set up ads and try to generate their own leads, they have a few key problems that might seem small, but will be the difference between actually getting sales and just burning thousands of dollars. The first one is that they set up an ad that barely generates interest. Number 2, they have no qualification for leads that are opting in. And finally, they follow up with the leads within hours or even days, guaranteeing that the person will not even remember that they opted into anything. On the first point, we actually stopped running static ads. So any images we completely stopped running because people look at your image and might see like a cool photo of a solar panel and maybe a bit of information about reducing their electric bill, but they really don't know what they're opting into. If they do click on the ad, since there is little information you can actually put on one image to call out the right type of person, to show the proposal, get social proof, so on and so forth, the odds of actually getting people who will qualify and be interested are slim to none. This will just guarantee that your lead cost goes through the roof, and the few leads that actually come in, you won't even know if they're qualified or not until you start to call them up. On the second point, since most people send their leads to landing pages or even messages, you're wasting most of the budget on people who will click on your ad, visit your landing page, but since there's no step in between the ad and the landing page, anybody can click there, and we will get tons of people visiting the landing page without us knowing if they're qualified or not, which makes it a big challenge to optimize. If we see that we're getting clicks on the ads, that we see that people are visiting the landing pages, but we are not getting people to opt in, how do you really fix that? Is that an issue on the ad side of things or on the landing pages? Since you're adding more variables in terms of optimizing the landing page, the video, the copy, the actual form, you will at least spend double the budget, not just trying to optimize the ads, but the landing page too. And also a lot of people run messaging funnels where people can click on the ad and without needing to pass any qualifying questions, they get routed to a messaging conversation, which will ensure that your inbox is going to be full of people who will most likely not be qualified since there was no barrier to entry, and you'll spend a lot of time reaching out to these people and trying to book an appointment. And finally, if you're not following up with leads at maximum 5 minutes after they opted in, the chances of you booking that lead go down at least by 70%. That's why we like to automate a lot of those steps with AI, but we'll look at the process in detail in a little bit. So instead of having all these issues, instead just focus on a simple funnel where ads go to a simple form. So it's so much easier to optimize the whole funnel, and you can just focus on testing ads until you get a winner. Instead of trying to optimize the landing page, checking if the videos are converting at a good percentage, so on and so forth. In the lead forms inside of Facebook and Instagram, you can actually set them to conditional logic, which disqualify leads immediately when they opt in if they're not qualified. So you can ask as many questions as you want. For example, home ownership, if they're paying X amount on their electric bill, so on and so forth. If they don't qualify on any one of those questions, they're instantly taken out of the funnel so that you don't have to spend a single minute trying to reach people who are going to be unqualified at the end of the day. And finally, if you don't want to be glued to your phone 24/7 because people usually opt in at night or in the morning, maybe you're on lunch break. You don't need to hire an expensive call center or having somebody 24/7 to be there picking up the calls and trying to set the appointments. You can automate the appointment setting step with an AI caller, which will call leads as soon as they opt in. It will try to qualify them and book them in for appointments. So now let's go a bit deeper on each one of these points to see how to get the best results. And the first one, the keys to testing a bunch of different ads. Like I said, you don't need to run static ads, only videos, and test out at least 5 videos at once with different hooks, which are the first 5 to 10 seconds maximum of a video to see which will perform best. So for example, you can see here I tested at least, 2, 4, 6, 8 videos. And the only difference was the first 5 to 10 seconds, but the results ended up being completely different from one ad to the next. Some of them generated few to no results whatsoever, and the other ones were getting good cost per lead. But the one winner that we got, 52 leads at just $15 compared to all the other ones which were either more expensive or didn't get as much volume. And the final point on the testing is that we actually tested out solar-oriented ads versus an indirect approach. So for example, an indirect approach would be reduce your electric bill with this program, but they don't know about solar. We had people opting in at a good cost, but the thing was that they didn't know what they were opting into. So whenever we called them, it was much harder to actually set those appointments. There were people that already had solar or didn't qualify for X or Y reason. So we just decided to make it simpler and just make solar-oriented ads. And the key here is that you gotta be willing to go all in on creating ads until you get a winner. Most people are lazy. Most people don't want to go the extra mile, but you got to create ads until you get a good cost per lead, as long as they're also qualified. Another thing to keep in mind is that you only need to create new ads until you find a winning formula. Once you know what's working, then you can just double down on that. And the key to creating winning ads is to have a call out. For example, homeowners in Texas with a value proposition such as reduce your electric bill with no upfront cost, add a bit more social proof, add a bit more information so they know what they're opting into with the value proposition, but finally just have a call to action with urgency to actually get people opting in and not just people commenting or liking the post. Because after all, we're here to generate leads, so we need that contact information either way. To disqualify leads immediately after they opt in, once again, no landing pages, no messaging funnels. Turn on conditional logic inside of the Facebook and Instagram forms and just add or subtract questions until you get your desired results. So if you're not getting qualified leads, add more questions. If you're getting a cost per lead which is too high and you suspect that you might have added too many questions, then just take some out. It should look something like this. So whenever someone clicks on your ad, it opens up this form. If they click, for example, on the answer, that means that they're not qualified. They're going to be taken out of the form instantly. If they do qualify and they fill out all the information, you can add a final call to action like book a call, book an appointment, call our business, or visit our website on the last page, which will ensure you're already getting leads when they're most interested. Might as well give them the option to book in the next step on their own terms without having to answer the AI or having to respond to any text messages. Once you see the quality of the leads, decide if any tweaks are required. It's that simple. You can add as many questions as you want or have no questions at all. It's really up to you and the results that you're already getting. This way, generating qualified leads no longer is a guessing game. You know exactly the quality that you're going to get because people can't opt in if they haven't selected the right answers. And finally, if you don't have immediate follow-up, because most people have a manual approach of just calling whenever they're available, which leads to inconsistency and overall a lot of lost opportunities, it's much better to set up AI assistants, which will be there 24/7. Solar Pros don't have any automations, so a prospect opts in, but they don't receive any information and they don't really know what's the next step or if it's even worth their time. And finally, if people decide to hire an appointment setter or a call center, you have to waste a lot of time training and managing those people. So it's something that overall you can automate much easier with the AI assistants, not just the cold call It can be both over calls and over text messages to ensure that you're getting them on both sides and making sure that you got all fronts covered. You can also automate emails, but most people we've seen don't answer the emails. They answer much more to the AI through SMS or the voice one. This way you can relax knowing every single lead is taken care of. You can go on vacation or you can do whatever you want with your own time instead of being there 24/7 trying to chase leads endlessly. I've actually put together the ultimate guide on generating solar leads. I've linked it down below. I promise it's the most valuable video you'll ever watch on generating solar leads. So go ahead and watch that video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.